Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Thursday afternoon episode of Ted's Booze Cellar with me, your most gracious host Ted. It is currently 3:38 on the 27th of May 2021. I hope I'm finding you all in a good state of affairs, and if I'm not, then I hope things improve for you very, very promptly. Now, I know it's not usual for me to do a Thursday episode. Usually I do these every week, Friday through Sunday, but I got a beer box from Brewdog recently. I'm not sponsored by them, just want to let that out there. Be nice if I was. I'm not going to complain, but basically I followed an advert on their Facebook page where you could sign up and get a delivery box of 2 each of 4 different beers from them that were either collaborative efforts between them and different companies, or were theirs, or were beers by companies that were just like linked to Brewdog. And there's like a couple of lagers in there, a pale ale, and then the subject of today's review, which I'm particularly interested in looking at, which is a collaborative effort between Brewdog themselves and Tony's Chocolatiers. This is Tony's Hopolonely. Not exactly sure how to pronounce that, probably messed it up already, but this is a white chocolate and raspberry milkshake IPA. Now, I've had milkshake IPAs before, and I've reviewed a couple on this show that have been varying in terms of quality, as I'm sure you probably guys, old viewers, will probably know. It says here, here's to changing the world one beer at a time, 5.7% alcohol volume. It says, Brewdog and Tony's Chocolonely are united for better beer and a better world. We're on a mission to help save our planet by inspiring you to act and care for the only home we have. We believe beer and chocolate can be a force for good. We'll be making a donation for every can sold to the Chocolonely Foundation to support Tony's mission to make all chocolate 100% slave-free. Now, regardless of whatever you may think of like Brewdog or Tony's, I think that's a fantastic mission to go for, and I think that more power to them for doing that. But yeah, no, I'm quite interested to try this, and especially if it's got such a good message behind it, then yeah, I'm even more interested in trying it. I've got to say, it's a mad, vibrant mix of colours on the can. You've got yellow, white, but gold blue, sort of like pink. It's a mad mix of colours, but it's vibrant and interesting enough that I think I'll give the can like an 8 out of 10. It's handsome enough. It's just the mixture of colours and fonts is a bit much, but yeah, no, it looks nice. But yeah, I'm going to give this a little sniff and see what our first impressions are like. So, weird. That's a strange nose. Doesn't really smell of much, actually. It smells a bit creamy, bit creamy, bit raspberry, a little bit vanilla-y. Probably give it like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It smells nice. It's just there's not a huge amount to say about it, but yeah, I mean, it's a generally pleasant smelling beer. I'm going to get a glass actually, so if you guys will bear with me just so I can have a look at the colour of this thing, because for all we know it may look like the nicest beer in the world, or it may look like dishwater, who knows. Anyway, hang on. Alright, so if you'll excuse me, dear people at Brewdog, I'm going to be pouring this into my Beer 52 glass, so let's have a look-see at how this looks. Okay, it looks much more, when I pour it out, like a juicy pale ale, as you can see there. A very cloudy, hazy, juicy pale ale, so I'm not really sure what to think of that. I was definitely expecting it to be more rose-coloured, I guess, perhaps, or I guess this kind of does have a bit of a white chocolate hue to it, but no, I don't know. Alright, well, let's have ourselves a quick palate cleanser of water first, to give ourselves an objective viewpoint from which to judge this little number. And then let's see what this actually tastes like. So, to everyone watching at home, bottoms up. Texture's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought the texture was going to be quite fizzy and hazy and muddled, but it's a bit of a muddling at the end there, but not. It's quite a smooth, mild texture actually, which is quite pleasant. There's a bit of like a candified raspberry undertone there, with a sort of like a slightly vanilla-y white chocolate through line. And there's sort of like a very candy-ish finish, sort of like a slightly dry sort of tint at the end. I was thinking this could go either one way of either being great or horrible. I think it's kind of somewhere in between. I definitely think I'm not a big fan of like candified flavours, and I think the raspberry could be made a little bit more prominent to give it a bit of a juicier, fuller undertone, and to kind of sort of like bring out the vanilla-y nature of like the white chocolate in there as well. And there's not, I know, like, I don't know, I feel like I'd probably increase the sort of flavour of like the white chocolate in there by about 20% and the raspberry by about 40%, and then I feel it would have a slightly fuller, more interesting and slightly better balanced flavour, to be honest. I feel that's probably my main misgiving with it, because the texture is fine. The texture doesn't muddle up the flavour at all. In fact, the sort of like smoothness and then that dry quality at the finish kind of sort of like complements the vibrant flavours here quite well. And you can tell there's a bit of like that white chocolate through line with the sort of like slightly juicy sour raspberryness in there. And what is there is nice. I just wish there was more of it. So I'm feeling most likely like a strong 7.5. I think it's good. It's a very good milkshake IPA, and I've had some pretty bad ones in the past, so perhaps my judgment is a bit skewed by that, the fact that my experience with milkshake IPAs has mostly been pretty poor. But generally speaking, I'm going to say this is above average, probably not quite elite, but it is nice, and if I was going to pay for it, I probably would go out my way to buy at least a couple. It probably wouldn't be in my top list of drinks to get from Brewdog, but for what it is, I think it is worth checking out. It's got an interesting enough flavour. I think that the flavour that is there is brewed together nicely. I just wish there was more of it. I wish there was slightly fuller body, and I wish there was a slightly more sour edge to it as well, to complement the sweetness and the candified sort of finish as well, with that sour finish as well. I think that if it was slightly fuller, slightly more sour, then it would be probably pushing on for an 8.5 maybe, but as it is, I think a 7.5 is really good. And like I said, I've got to give credit to Brewdog and Tony's for the great message that they're sending out by trying to make all chocolate slave-free, which I think is a fantastic message. So, yeah, well done. This is it might not be an elite level beer, but I think this is a really, really strong effort. It's probably the best milkshake IPA I've had so far. But anyway, if you guys like this video, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future episodes of Ted's Brew Cellar, let me know in the comments section below. And if you want to check out anything else I do online, I'll leave the links to all that in the video description down below later. But yeah, until next time, have fun, stay safe with whatever you're doing, don't do anything I wouldn't do, wash your hands, take a mask with you to the shops, drink responsibly, know your limits, and I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Brew Cellar. Bye bye for now.